For some reason, Mattel decided to drop the 2024 Diecast poster in February, completely killing the hype for any new Diecasts throughout the year. Fortunately for me though, I'm going to do a tier list on them, and this makes my job a whole lot easier. Hello everyone, welcome to Toy Reviews Diecast this week. I am your host, Cars Like Ninjago, and let's get into the tier list. Right, so I was going to do this on every single car released this year, but I may or may not have deleted the footage for the entire 44-minute long video, so I'm going to try and do this now only on new releases because I don't have time to do it as every single release. Right, so Mandy Freundebender. Mandy Freundebender is the only new release from the movies at all this year. Yeah, even though she doesn't technically appear in a movie, as Pixar never animated every single crew chief and team for every single racer, and Mandy was one of those that was not animated. So technically speaking, she isn't canon. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. We don't really know. But anyways, Mandy was originally planned to be released in 2019 with a completely different design, being white, similar to Bryn Immergear. However, in this release, they've seemed to have redesigned her, as she is now an orangey brown with different decals on her. And I much preferred the original design for her, as I like the white a lot better than the sort of dirty orange colour. I felt that colour didn't match Greg Candyman a lot, but it matched more than whatever this is. So, sorry Mandy, you're going in B. Cave Mater is a really good Eater diecast. I really regret not picking up when I saw him the other day. But oh well, at least I got Deputy McQueen. He looks and feels like a rock from what I've heard, just like Cave McQueen. The expression is really good, although I do wish he looked like more, or like he did in the episode, but you know what, it fits, so I like it. I really like the oxidized look for the rust, and the stone wheels look really good. S tier. Ramon is one of the more anticipated releases from Cars on the Road, as people wanted the new Ramon from Cars on the Road, and it was very surprising actually that it took us this long to get him. I thought Mattel would have been right on that. But anyways, this Ramon is quite nice, a nice paint job. I don't think we've had an orange Ramon before, at least not in my memory. And I really like the design of the stripes, like the purple and the yellow. They all look really good together. This diecast is going in A. Next up is Logan Gearsol, who is one of the ghosts from the Lights Out episode. This is a really good diecast, and it is a Model T, which is where my only flaw comes from. With him, he just seems too small. Like, I can't tell if he's the same size as Lizzie, but from this prototype picture, he looks to not be the same size. So unfortunately for him, that's his downfall, and because he's too small, that's an inconsistency and really going to bother me, so he's going in C. Tractor Ghost, though, is a perfect diecast in my opinion, other than for one small thing, which is the expression. The eye expression is spot on, but the mouth expression is just reused from the racing tractors, so unfortunately, instead of looking shocked, he looks happy, like insanely happy. Now this isn't really a flaw, as it does look good, and I like it. And it's really funny to me that he just looks like he's overjoyed to be dead. But you know what, this is still quite a funny diecast. So, S tier. Barney Cones was another quite anticipated release from Cars on the Road, as he is the truck that pushes the Salt Flats racers, and is the one who says, "Watch out for the speed demon." However, this guy doesn't really interest me all that much. He just seems like a plain truck with a bumper, with a thing on his bumper, which, I mean, he does look nice, but he's not all that interesting in my opinion. I like his dirt. I don't really like his shade of blue though, so sorry Barney, you're going in D. Byron Crashforth feels like if Mark Sontheimer and Peggy Liner had a child. He's just like a shorter version of Peggy and just painted all completely blue. Quite a boring colour scheme and design. Like an incredibly boring design. However, The mould does save it, but not that much as he's going into C. Not as unique as Peggy in my opinion. Margaret Motorway though is a car that looks like she's been pulled right out the show. She looks really, really good. Like, I love the camouflage and I love the roof accessories. Yeah, Margaret is a really solid diecast. A tier. Space Creature McQueen is the other new release from the Legend, and one of the best releases this year in my opinion. He's two new variants in one basically, because you get the Gearless Cryptid Buster McQueen, and you get the alien costume, which is a nice plastic sheet that goes over it. Really accurate, really solid expression on the McQueen. I think it's just reused from the 2023 Road Trip McQueen, and very detailed. S tier. Next up we have Rodette Marker, who is a car which is pretty solid, other than her facial expression. In the show, she just appears behind McQueen multiple times with this really creepy smile and a facial expression. And I would have loved to see that represented on the diecast, but no. We should get a standard sad clown expression like Greebles, which is really unfortunate. I really would have liked to see that expression. So, and the new expression isn't even, and this expression isn't even that good. Her eyes are way too far apart, and she's and too big in my opinion, and they just don't look good. Also, her license plate is upside down for some reason, so I'm sorry, Rodette. D. Van Campbell though is the much better clown this year, as he used the colour scheme I prefer, which is the metallic blue and orange stripes, which I really like. We've only ever seen one of those clowns before, being the circus stunt biplane. And I really like his expression, how he's looking off to the side. Always like when cars are looking off to the side, so that's positive. And I just overall really think his model's unique as well. It's only been used on one other car before, I believe, being Pedro Cartolina's, Miguel Camino's crew chief. So, you know what? A tier. From trucks now, we've got Chris Freightman. Chris is, in my opinion, one of this year's greatest releases. He's just a blank, plain tow truck who could be used in the background of anywhere. It's like he could be used as a rescue service, race tow truck, whatever you could think of. Yep, and also his model is just really unique. I really like that. And he resembles Herb Kerbler, the tow truck from Cars 3. Yes, there's also a tow truck called Herb Kerbler from Cars 3, look it up. And his expression is really good, and overall, S tier diecast. Really, really nice. Okay, next up from B Movie, we've got Jessica Carville. Probably one of my favourite releases from this year as well. She is just basically a pink Guido with a clipboard, and I really like that. She's really accurate. I really like her shade of pink. I really like how she's got the cone with her, even though nobody really cares about that, and that's pretty obvious by the community, but they still put it in to try and justify the price, so honestly props to them. A tier. Now Deputy Hazard McQueen is a lot better, as it is another McQueen variant with a plastic sheet over it basically, like Space Creature McQueen, except this one is a lot more detailed in that it's got like all the little bumps and oozes of the slime. However, the McQueen underneath isn't nearly as unique, as it's only got a unique eye expression. A lot of people would, including myself, would have liked to see the stain underneath the hood and a different mouth expression. However, they didn't do that. But I still do appreciate them giving a different eye expression. But honestly, A tier, but above Jessica. I'm going to move Jessica down to B. Coming up now, we've got Tony Motorfelt, the town marshal from B Movie. This guy is a really nice looking diecast. He reuses Roscoe's model, but he looks different enough, and it makes sense in universe for him to reuse the model. I really like the shade of brown they used. It's really unique. I'm looking at my collection right now, and I can't see a car that uses that shade of brown. So props to Pixar and Mattel for using a really nice shade of brown. I really like the police logos on the side and the sheriff logos. And I think the expression is really good and accurate. Honestly, overall solid A. President Mater is one of the most requested Mater variants from Cars on the Road, and this guy did not disappoint. After Mattel started building up hype with the colour changer from early last year, we finally have him in 1/55 scale form, and he is really good. First off, he has the working tow hook, which is a really good play feature for kids. I know it may not look the best, but for kids, it's a fun feature. I always wanted to tow my McQueen when I was younger, could never do it. I think the expression looks like the eyes are a little too small, but I can look past that. I really like the shade of blue used, and I think the President of the United States sticker is really nice, and I really like the yellow stripe. I think that's just really sleek. However, I don't know why they've got the light on the wing mirror. That wasn't there in the episode to my knowledge, so I'm not really sure why I put that there. Honestly, B tier. Next up we've got Nicole Revwell, Jesse Whelan and Movie Prop. Now usually I wouldn't count 2 packs as one diecast, but with these you can't really have them without the others. So Movie Prop especially is really nice, really well detailed. I love the like silver paint scheme it has. Nicole and Jesse, I really like they're just plain pitties, which could be used anywhere in the Cars universe. I like how they've got the little nubs as well to carry the movie prop. Honestly, S tier. These guys are really good. Now Jason Roadkey is a really interesting one, because he reuses Fishtail's model, I believe. And in universe that wouldn't really make sense, because it's a unique model with unique dents and stuff. And that model wouldn't just be copy and pasted throughout the whole country. But I digress. Nevertheless, he still looks really cool with the spikes, the grey and the brown on him. His expression looks really good. He just looks like he's sort of ticked off. And I really like the exhaust coming from the hood. Kind of reminds me of Superfly, except less extreme. Honestly, I'd put Jason Roadkey in B tier. Justin Roadritter, though, unfortunately, is not a car I will praise as highly. Simply for the fact that he's just too grey. In his artwork, you can very clearly see that he's brown, and in the show he is brown as well. But here, they've for some reason decided to portray him as a dark grey and a light grey, which is just completely inaccurate. However, the other factors do sort of redeem this, as he has the rocket launcher. However, he hasn't got the rocket in, as the rocket is landed on Ken Enginoki, who we'll talk about next. And his expression just completely perfect. His expression perfectly recreates what he looked like when he fired the rocket in Road Rumblers. You know what? B tier as well, but under Jason. The last diecast from Cars on the Road, Ken Enginoki. This diecast is a really funny concept. I mean, it's the electric warrior that has the rocket from Justin Roadritter on his roof. I think that's really funny. Not to mention the facial expression is spot on to what he looked like in the show. And the accessories are just honestly top notch. Really accurate diecast. Really funny. I love this guy. S tier. Now we're moving on to the GRC cars. First up, we've got Lightning McQueen. I really like this guy's design. I love the dark red, the blue, the black. The expression's really solid. I like how he's got an asymmetrical design. I'm a sucker for asymmetrical stuff. So, of course, I'd like that. But, I mean, just look at this, guys. This is beautiful. This is S. Why did it move into... Okay, next up we've got Carla Veloso. Now, the prototype image here makes it look not very unique, like, at all. It just looks like the regular Carla Veloso, with a few things changed. But I really like Carla Veloso's design anyway. so I don't really see that as a massive problem. But in the leaked images we've seen of her in hand, she looks a lot better, a lot more unique. I think it's just like how this one's animated. And from that image, I'd say this is a solid A tier. Cruise now is a car I have mixed opinions on. I think the black is really good on her. I think it goes with the yellow really nicely. But the blue, I just don't like, honestly. And the bronze, like, where does that come from? It's just on the Diecast logo on the wheels and then nowhere else. Just sort of feels like a mismatch of colours in my opinion. Honestly, sorry Cruise, you're going into D tier. Which is, for some reason, mislabeled as D. I will change that now. And next up we've got Francesco. This dude is literally like if you pasted the Italian flag onto him vertically. It's just literally here's that. But you know what? Honestly, it really works. I love the black. It feels like I've just taken inspiration from Carbon Racer Francesco as well, which is another diecast. Honestly, this guy would not look out of place. He's with a real-life Formula 1 roster. A tier. Next up is Jackson, who is, in my opinion, the worst GRC car, as he is quite literally almost identical to his regular version, with just some blue added in the back, and the GRC logos pasted on. Guys, this is a D tier car. I'm sorry, there's nothing I have to say about it. Now, Max Schnell is a car I really like, as I really like the swap for the grey. Makes him feel more German, as it's closer to black than it is, and then purple is. And I really like how it's got the GRC logo on the coming off the German flag, replacing his original logo. I think that's really clever. The roof, I also like how it's just completely black. Really just complements the grey and the yellow. Also just gives that authentic German feel. Honestly, S tier. Now GRC Miguel is basically Miguel Camino, but with an accurate spoiler, but with an accurately coloured spoiler, GRC logos, and the design just turned down on a bit. Yeah, like I really like the hood design and the roof, but the side is just so bland looking. You know what? B tier, honestly. I don't like him as much. Now GRC Raoul Cerul is a car I like, but I don't think he does what he's supposed to. Because when I look at this, I think of the Union Jack. I don't think of France. But other than that, like, he does look really good still, and I think he's one of the best looking GRC racers. I really like how he's got the GRC on the side, similar to his original look. And I really like the expression, along with the GRC being vertical. Honestly, S tier. And now we've got Shuta Todoroki, probably my second least favourite of the GRC. He just feels like super plain, like they've only got a few of the decals carried over from original shoe. They changed his wheels to red, they slapped a couple GRC logos, made his spoiler red, repainted a couple bits grey, and that's it. This isn't that good in my opinion. So to end it off, we're going to put him in D. And that is my ranking of every new for 2024 diecast. Thank you for watching. I am Cars Likes Ninjago, and I'm saying bye now, because Ty said that. Bye now.